The Bible and the Quran are the two basic holy books of the two major faiths in Nigeria. I'm talking about the Christian and the Muslim religion. But then, we want to find out on this week's episode of Let's Talk Tax what the holy books say about the payment of taxes. Now, we want to find out, should religious institutions be made to pay taxes or not? We are going to be on the streets of Ilorin today to find out what the people actually think should be done. Should they pay or should they not? Later on in the show, we'll also be speaking with a lawyer who would help us find out what the law actually says about religious institutions paying taxes. Demola Okewo is my name, and this is Let's Talk Tax.
Good people of Kwara State, our government is working hard to make life better for all of us by providing infrastructures in all sectors: roads, transportation, health, and many more.
Government can and will do more if we all pay our taxes.
Yes, especially the land and property tax.
This will enable government to provide social services.
We have the responsibility to deduct taxes from our employees and remit accordingly.
So if you see Kwara State Internal Revenue Service people for your area, no run or fight them. Government don't they do better before. Them go continue to do better for us.
Payment of taxes is very simple. Make sure you collect a receipt for all payments. For continued progress in Kwara, play your part, pay your tax.
Should religious institutions, that is churches and mosques, pay taxes or not? And now I'm with Mrs. Bamidele, who would be answering that question. Well done, man, and thank you for having us. Now, what do you think? Should churches and mosques pay taxes or not?
No, they shouldn't pay.
Why should they not pay, man?
At least church and mosques, we are there to say our prayer, to pray to God. I think, why should they have to pay? Since we are there, it's not a business organization, so they don't need to pay tax.
But do you recognize that some of them have a lot of money? Don't you think that money can help in develop the society?
In terms of that, I can't say much on that. I can't say more.
But then you still think they should not pay?
Yes. Because it's not a business organization. Okay. We are just there to pray or come as a body to worship God. Okay. So it's not a business organization. So to me, they don't need to pay tax.
So there you have it. We'll check on somebody else and find out whether or not they should pay taxes. Thank you so much, man. I'm still on the streets and I'm here with Mr. Wasiu, and we're still asking the same question. Should religious institutions pay taxes or not? So what do you think, sir? Should churches and mosques be made to pay taxes?
Definitely, being a Muslim, I'm a Muslim, but I don't want to be sentimental at this junction. But church should pay tax. Okay. But because we are in a secular state, if churches should pay tax and mosques doesn't pay, it will be a problem. Okay. So both should pay tax, but what church should pay should be more than what mosques should pay.
Why do you say so?
It's obvious, and it's a simple reason, and it's something all of us all knows. We know most of the millionaires and billionaires in Nigeria, they are all pastors.
Good. So basically we think that the higher the income of these churches or pastors, they should pay more.
Sure, they should pay more.
Okay, but then there are people who have the opinion that religious institutions shouldn't even be made to pay taxes at all because they are supposed to be religious, right?
Definitely, but they generate money, and the main main concern of government, which is federal government, about the citizens is our well-being. So if churches and mosques should generate income, why not contribute part of the income to the environment by giving part of them to the government as a tax, so that government will take care of us with the money? Yes. Right. So that a pastor will not have about 10 mansions, Range Rovers, and we are all suffering.
Very true. Very true. Well, you've heard it. We'll find out from anyone else what they think. Ṣó yẹ kí àwọn ìjọ àti gbogbo ìjọ bẹ́ẹ̀ Mùsùlùmí o àbí onígbàgbọ́ ṣó yẹ ká máa san?
Ó yẹ ká máa san.
Kí ló dé tí ẹ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ sà?
Nǹkan tó dé tí mo fi sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ìjọ wọ́n ń san níta, gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń worship bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ń san níta. So ìgbà tó ń rẹ̀ tí ń san níta kò tún nídìí ká tó máa disrupt church.
I'm still on the street and we're finding out whether or not religious institutions should be made to pay taxes. I'm here with Christiana, and what do you think about it, ma?
My church cannot pay tax. It's not possible.
Why not?
Because everything God owns, the land, the water, everything God created it. So I don't think it's possible. If they are collecting it from others, they should separate church and mosque.
But then, if you say God owns the land and everything, do you pay taxes?
Me? I pay tax now. Like this is our shop. So they do come here to collect tax actually.
Doesn't God own this place too?
Well, the Bible also says we should give what belongs to Caesar. Maybe that's what we'll follow. That's when the church can pay. But for us not to follow that one, I don't think it's necessary actually.
But then, don't we see a situation now where a lot of pastors and imams are living very large and they could use a lot of that money to help people? What do you think about that?
Well, let's bygone be bygone. All these things. Let's work for. Let's do what God wants us to do. Let's give what belongs to them. Let's give it to them.
So churches should pay taxes.
I cannot judge pastors living exclusive life. It's their own, and it's their own belief and their God. It's their money, their tithes. I don't mind who I'm paying it to. I'm paying to God. So everything belongs to God.
All right, thank you, Christiana. Well, you've heard it again. She says the land and everything belongs to God. So nobody pay no taxes. Well, I didn't say it, but then it's still LTT. I'll catch you soon.
They are not supposed to be paying tax. You know, that money they are generating, they are using it to build to mobilize, you know, to evangelize the word of God to other people who have never heard the word of God
before. But then, does that give them a reason? Because they are doing something good, is that why we're saying they should not pay taxes?
I can't say they should not pay tax, you know. So far they are using that money, you know, for less privileged people that are unable to get clothes, you know, to feed. So they are using this money to, you know, to mobilize them.
So you agree that if they are not using the money for things like that, for instance, a pastor that is driving like 5 fine cars, very expensive cars, and is living in a very big house, should such a pastor's church be made to pay tax?
Good people of Kwara State, our government is working hard to make life better for all of us by providing infrastructures in all sectors: roads, transportation, health, and many more.
Government can and will do more if we all pay our taxes.
Yes, especially the land and property tax.
This will enable government to provide social services.
We have the responsibility to deduct taxes from our employees and remit accordingly.
So if you see Kwara State Internal Revenue Service people for your area, no run or fight them. Government don't they do better before. Them go continue to do better for us.
Payment of taxes is very simple. Make sure you collect your receipt for all payments. For continued progress in Kwara, play your part, pay your tax.
The registration of religious organizations as well as non-profit making organizations are under Part C of the Company and Allied Matters Act. And this presupposes that religious organizations, non-governmental organizations are all non-profit making organizations. And since they are not making profits, they are not supposed to pay tax. That was the spirit of the law when it was established, when it was decided that such organizations should not pay taxes, because they are deemed to be organizations that are not earning money, and you don't pay when you are not earning money. So that's the basis of exempting them from payment of tax. People see that there's a lot of money, there are lots of money in these organizations now. We see the way our leaders now live,
the kind of cars they ride, the kind of schools their children attend, and all of that. And they feel that these people are making a lot of money and they should be willing to give back. And besides that, we also see that churches are going into profit-making ventures. We now have schools, secondary schools, we have polytechnics, we have universities that are owned by these religious organizations. Are we saying they are not making profit from these ventures? Look at the universities. They may not break even, of course, in the first 5, 6, maybe even 10 years, like every other person. But they are also charging well, and so definitely they must be making. We can't say a university is a non-profit making organization. That would be unfair. That would be very unfair. So I think they should also, that's why people are saying let them pay. When this law was made, the intention of the legislature then was that these organizations will be rendering humanitarian services only. And you discover that in those days, all these Christian hospitals, their bills were almost zero. Equa Hospital, Egbe, Leprosium, all these other health centers and all that were being managed by churches. The CAC denomination used to have a lot of maternity centers. People could go there and pay virtually nothing. I think that was why they said if these people are doing these things to assist the society, then we should not tax them. But we see now that things have changed. People are now paying. In fact, the fees that people pay in private, private hospitals and schools are even higher than government hospitals and schools. So this is why people are saying let them also pay tax. In secondary schools, they run secondary schools, and the students pay fees. We develop the place, we pay the teachers. Why is it that it is tax that we don't want to pay? So these are part of the reasons why people are saying let them pay tax. Unless the churches and the mosques and the non-government organizations are saying they are not making money. And like I keep repeating now, it is not only churches and mosques. It also includes NGOs. You see people somebody will start off an NGO now, and in 2-3 years time, he will be riding big cars because they get a lot of grants, they get a lot of donations, they get a lot of support, and they just use these things not only to run the ideas of the association, but they also profit from them. So these are some of the reasons why we feel they should be and they should be made to also pay something back to the society. And then, like I said, this tax is for the development of the society. Are we saying we are not interested in the development of the society? Are we saying we are not interested in government building roads and bridges and improving our lives generally? Or we are saying we don't want to be part of it, we don't want to contribute to that? That is the basics. That's how to break it down. That we are saying we are not interested in development of the country, we don't want to contribute. And that would be very un-Christianly for the Christian organizations, and I'm sure very un-Islamic for the Muslim organizations.
Good people of Kwara State, our government is working hard to make life better for all of us by providing infrastructures in all sectors: roads, transportation, health, and many more.
Government can and will do more if we all pay our taxes.
Yes, especially the land and property tax.
This will enable government to provide social services.
We have the responsibility to deduct taxes from our employees and remit accordingly.
So if you see Kwara State Internal Revenue Service people for your area, no run or fight them. Government don't do better before. Them go continue to do better for us.
Payment of taxes is very simple. Make sure you collect a receipt for all payments. For continued progress in Kwara, play your part, pay your tax.
The taxation of religious organization, be it Islamic organization or Christian religion organization, is not a yes or no answer
to your question, because tax decisions are premised on two major factors. And what are those factors? These are factors of fact and the point of law. Because we should know that any taxation that will be, any taxes that will be introduced, if it is not by law, it's illegal and it cannot be collected. Going to your answer, since we are talking about tax, there are two basic concepts or two major categories of taxes that we can have. That is, if the categorization is based on the source that we are taxing, or what we call the tax base. That is, it may be a direct tax or an indirect tax. From the point of law, if we are talking of personal income tax or company income tax, if it is a religious organization, is just a business name, or if it is registered as a limited liability company. If it is registered as a limited liability company, obviously the taxation will come under the